His name, Judge Mathis, Judge Greg Mathis out of Detroit. What up, though? Have a seat. Have a seat, elder. Have a seat, elder judge, with all that talk, what you want, what you getting so tired of, the disrespect, with the comedians going back and forth at each other with the disrespect. Talking about the higher ups is looking at us. Well, what's the name again? Greg. They've been looking at us. This is nothing new. This is something they feed on. Not only do they feed on it, but also certain ones in Black culture, Black media, they feed on it too. Therefore, I took an interest in the story. Therefore, I'm feeding on it. But great.
I want to appeal to our comedians to stop going after each other in public like this. You're embarrassing yourselves. You're embarrassing our community. I know many times you have to defend yourself about what's being said, but why can't we do it directly? And I just want you to know, I believe that we're being laughed at.
I ain't forgot, okay? Judge, the Honorable, I ain't forgot, yeah. I got this little red bits of hot nuts that I like. I ain't forgot how you went in on Wendy. And now that you know she got a documentary coming out the end of the month, why you got a voice? Have you taken the time out to ever apologize to Wendy? Because you went hard on that woman. Yeah, I said that woman that you went hard on and accused her of some things. Yeah, she went hard at you and accused you of some things. And I'm not sure that you even really defended yourself, because Wendy wasn't letting up. But you came with your ammunition. You came prepared. You came ready. You came ready to fire. You did not come to sit, play, have any prayer, ask for any forgiveness. Is there any light at the tunnel? How can we work through this? To be an example, as you mentioned now, about these comedians of today. But why wasn't you saying that when it was the men, the male comedians, yapping too much at the mouth? Why is it that now that Monique, a woman, a female, is speaking out, that you got something to say? Can we have a moment? Can we have a sit down? It's not many men that's of equal balance. I respect it when a man wants to speak out and try to bring balance to the community for what's right, what's wrong, who's right. But when is it ever enough? Like, I don't feel like the woman should be silenced. I don't feel like the man should be silenced. I feel like both parties have something very important to say of interest. Now, can it be done in decency and in order? Should it have gotten this far? I don't know. I'm not living that life. I don't know nothing about that life. But before anything gets too far, there is a time and place that an elder can step in. Do you have credibility that those of that age range can respect you? But just the fact that you are speaking out, having a voice, and if you're being real with it, that you really feel from your heart that possibly some changes can be made. But it seems like with this upload that you did, you doing more so begging for change that probably ain't gonna happen. There's a lot of tired people out here that's just been sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they don't see no change. And then it's like once somebody does start talking, acting like we can do better, y'all, we got to do better, we can have a sit down, we don't have to do each other like that. There are resources out here that we could be a part of to be making things better. And you know what happens sometimes, Judge Mathis? Y'all be the ones that disappear. So then where does that leave us? To continue to keep writing these storybooks of history, to keep going and going and going, and they never get any better. But let's see, what else did you have to say?
We're gonna stop embarrassing ourselves and we use our club shit. Public personal attack. Rise above.
I want to appeal to our comedians to stop going after each other in public like this. You're embarrassing yourselves, you're embarrassing our community. I know many times you have to defend yourself about what's being said.
You shouldn't have said some of that stuff.
Do it directly. And I just want
because people don't want to come together.
I believe that we're being laughed at all the
and we are.
Videos and by their executives seeing us in public, Black folks going at each other. You don't see this among
it's normal.
Communities. And
they got their own thing going.
You're hurting yourselves and you're hurting our community and you're hurting the young people who are looking and want to learn.
They ain't hurting. They just following.
In a better way. I'm no saint. I'm guilty of.
Okay, because again, I ain't been writing since you and Wendy Williams. Make that apology to Wendy Williams. Make that apology to Wendy Williams, Judge Mathis. And maybe you might have room to talk.
your families.
But until you do that,
Just turn on.
because you called yourself reading her, I didn't like that.
Turn towards each other.
I didn't even know who Wendy Williams was at the time when you went in on her. I don't like it at all. You called her all types of names. I wasn't even of age when that was going on. I don't know how old she was, but obviously maybe she needed to be pulled to the side. Did you think about that? Or now you want to think about it 15, 20, 25 years later? Is anybody listening? Let's just see how this goes. So with that being said, so let's just continue to hold Wendy up in prayer. Because like I said, every time he's mentioned, my mind automatically goes back to Wendy. Because you know she got that special coming up. And I'm wishing her nothing but the best. But it's like, why now? Why you want to come out now, Judge, and have this conversation? Is it because a woman is speaking? Yes, I'm so sorry. I ain't sorry. But I have to go there. And I do have to question some things. Now, when Cat Williams has started to open up the floodgates, if you thought comedians needed to have a sit down, where were you then? At the time when Monique was speaking out, you know, she was calling for help. Like, whoever wanted to be a part of that, where were you then? She mentioned Reverend Al Sharpton, civil rights activist who's been in the game for a very, very long time, well respected. Well, he came up missing too. Maybe you should give Al Sharpton a call and find out how come this didn't happen, that we wouldn't be where we are today. But I think the thing too with the black community, with black culture, what's going on with these comedians now, yes, I am on the outside looking in, but I am black. So I feel like I can have an opinion. But I feel like certain things is ingrained in us so deep that we just don't know how to function sometimes to move forward. I think it is sad in some manners. I appreciate, you speaking out as an elder to have something to say, because I feel like you should not be silenced as well. You have a voice. You should speak. You're in your right mind. You should speak. If it's making sense, why not? It is never too late. So I respect when anybody has taken the time out to try to say something of value. But what's the plan? It's like we say these things, but we really never have a plan to put in motion, that it just becomes sad. And then next thing you know, it's done fell by the wayside, and then it's on to the next. And then before you know it, 6 months from now, 1 year from this moment from now, we'll be on to something else. It'll be something else that will be trending in this community, that we'll be talking about, whether we are building it up or tearing it down. It's really sad how dysfunctional things have gotten in the, if we want to say community, we'll say community. But the way Monique be talking about my babies and all that, hi, my babies, sometimes I think the women need to have a sit down together. Sometimes I think the men need to have a sit down together. Then if at all possible, we come together as one to have a sit down, to iron out some things, to have respect, to rebuild, to just try to change the trajectory. But it starts within. It starts with us. But it just seems like it's just always so much talk. When does it ever get any better? But then again, we're not to give up either, because again, we still never know. And there is a generation that's coming behind us, and it's a generation coming behind them. Will things get better? Can we get along?